Dobry Państwu, chciałem tutaj z tego miejsca przedstawić mojego bardzo dobrego przyjaciela, który mnie uczył wielu trików medialnych. Z Londynu, prosto dla Was i również będziemy oceniać już wczorajszy mecz Anglia-Szkocja. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. John Bradley from London, England, I believe. John, how are you?
I'm very well, Pieter. Thanks for having me on.
Sure. John is very good. He was my mentor when we were with UEFA. He was my mentor how to do the interviews. So we changed this place right now, and I'm interviewing you, which
I'm nervous.
is very unusual for you, I believe. But John have a very like over 20, if I'm not mistaken, John, over 20 years experience in the media. He was a mentor for UEFA as well. He was the media officer, if I'm not mistaken, John.
That's
so
right.
we have a guru of English and international football. So John, thank you so much for your time. And let me ask you this about, we saw yesterday the game. So what do you think about the game in general? Your comments, your thoughts, please.
I think that in England there's a sense of disappointment that England were perhaps not quite as attacking and as positive with the ball as they could be. I think against Croatia in the first game, they played very well without the ball. They played a very high pressing game, a high block, winning the ball high up the field from Croatia. And it was almost the case, Peter, of England being a better team without the ball than they are with the ball. I don't know if what you guys saw from the game from your side, but certainly it felt like that from our side. And that England's tactics were perhaps just deemed a little negative against a Scotland side that 11 versus 11,
right,
they should be better than.
Right. But let me ask you this. Do you think, because you said then the tactics, do you think that the change of Luke Shaw and James on the sides, I believe, my view, it was before the game, I thought then Southgate is not going to change this, especially with Trippier playing as a left defender. I thought then Morgan should be going more, using this side. And before the game, when we analyze, like we predict some things will happen, I said the left side will be the it could be better with either Chilwell or Trippier. What do you think?
I mean, Chilwell's just come off the back of a fantastic few months in winning the Champions League and really stepping up in terms of his standards and his level of performance. And I think that even though Luke Shaw's had a really good season with Manchester United, I think that Chilwell, for a lot of people, is perhaps a better, more creative attacking player down that left-hand side. So certainly I'd go with you on that one as well,
Yeah, but you have on your Twitter today, I saw in the morning, and I agree with you 100%, about Harry Kane and Sterling. They have been in a not best form. Is that because of the long season, or is just they couldn't find the game properly in the last game versus Croatia and this one?
I would always bow to your superior knowledge in terms of, the coaching aspect of the game and the way that Gareth Southgate did it tactically and whether he made a mistake in his approach to the game. But Raheem Sterling has come off a bad few months for Manchester City where he wasn't always seen as a regular starter for Pep Guardiola's side as they went into the end of the season and disappointed. Manchester City this season were very good league champions in England, but this was again the season they were supposed to win the Champions League and they faltered once again at the final hurdle. So with that in mind,
but let me ask you this because it's also the Polish we analyzed in the studio. What is with Harry Kane changing the position, coming so far back? Is it just that he wants to touch the ball? Is just tactics, or is just his creativity, or this is how he viewed the game? thinking that he might go from the second line in the position. Because yesterday there was, especially in the second half, there was very good combination with Sterling, with Mount and Luke Shaw. And they found the space on the side, you know, for a cross, right? Across the goal. And all of a sudden, there is nobody there.
Do you remember the start of last season with Tottenham and Kane and Son struck up an amazing partnership where Kane would drop deep, back almost into a number 10 in midfield position. Son would make those very, very good late runs from deep to break the offside line. And, you know, he scored lots of goals. Kane assisted a lot of goals. Now, is Kane still playing that same way? Does he have to adapt his game a little more in playing for England and playing more as an orthodox number 9? You know, that may be something in it. Maybe he's still playing too much of a Tottenham-style game. I think he doesn't look fit. You know, he's been carrying injuries all season. He's had long-standing problems with his ankles and, of course, got a knock in the first game as well. So, you know...
But somebody have to explain to him that coming back 20, 30 yards, right, just to touch the ball and go back, he is wasting his energy. He's going 20 yards back and have to go 20 yards, you know, to his position. I mean, this is waste of energy, waste of time. And,
if somebody's running behind and making the runs, if Sterling is making runs, if Foden is making runs, if Mount is making runs, then you can drop deep, can't you? But there was no one making those runs in behind for that, you know, the third man running principle that we talk about a lot in coaching.
Right. Yeah. Let me ask you about Foden, because in my view, excuse me, in my view, he doesn't have, you know, except the white hair. He's not changing his game. I think he's trying so hard to impress people that basically is like a quicksand. He's not, you know, moving everywhere, but he's obviously nowhere, you know. He starts to dribble, unnecessary dribbling, and those runs from the second line, from his position behind there is nobody looking at him even, and he's making those runs as well. And, you know, together with this Harry Kane situation coming back, I think Foden doesn't have this timing right now to allow him to go in the proper time. Now I have to go. And they can see him. But he's running all over the place, and he's very inefficient, I would say. What do you think?
Is that a failure of coaching or a failure from the player? Because Foden, for me, is the most naturally gifted player that England has created for a long time. Now, when he plays for Manchester City, Pep Guardiola has him playing in such a way that he's able to express himself and get into areas. But he's found in very good areas of the field, whereas with England, he doesn't seem to get into those same areas enough to cause problems for the opposition. And that's perhaps a failure from England not finding him in those areas. I mean, there's a lot of questions that you ask about that England performance last night. I think one particularly that a lot of people who have watched a lot of European football would ask as well is the fact that Jadon Sancho hasn't played 1 minute of the tournament so far, and given his form with Dortmund, you know, that for many is silly, really.
So let me ask you this. Will England calculate and trying to be a smart one, saying the second place in the group is going to give us, you know, not that best team from our group, the Polish group, or they going to go and say, okay, we got to win, we got to stay in London, and, you know, whoever is going to come our way, we're going to beat them. What do you think? Based on the form right now, the whole team is in.
There is a train of thought in this country that finishing runner-up in the group isn't the worst thing that England could do. But eventually, you know, in football, you have to beat everyone. You can't hope that other teams and the big teams get taken out. England, I think we all know, are still some way short of the likes of France and Portugal and Italy as well, who have been a wonderful surprise and a wonderful team to watch so far. They do great when they haven't got 5 number 10s to try and accommodate in their team, don't they?
Right.
So yeah, it's going to be really interesting. But listen, you have to beat everyone. I think the mentality has to be such that if you want to be successful, you have to take everyone on, don't you?
So except England, I know you will say who is my favorite team for the final. Except England, what do you think from the big five, let's say? Who impressed you, and what do you think is going to be the next step? We will connect with you anyway before the knockout stage. But right now, who you think is in the best form? Is it Portugal, France, Italy? So, you know, your predictions.
Yeah, I think Italy have been really exciting to watch, haven't they? Whether or not they have enough strength in depth over the course of the tournament to maintain it. You know, I like the dynamic of the Italy team, a team that's pulled together, you know, from lesser teams across Italy. And I think it's a real success of man management and tactical work from Mancini as well. But, you know, you look at that France team, and if you wanted to sign 11 footballers to put a good team together, you wouldn't go far wrong selecting that France team, would you, as a club side?
Yeah, absolutely. John, we'll connect with you after the first round will be done. So I greatly appreciate your time, my brother, all right, my friend.
Great
and be
to
good.
See
and we will keep in touch, and then I will connect with you after the first round, I mean the group stage, and then we'll talk about England, about other teams as well. So thank you so much, John. Okay?
Take care.
All right. Thank you so much.